Good afternoon, students. Yes, my TYBSc class. I am Dr. Maitri Shah, Head, Department of Botany, B.N. Bandurkar College of Science. Today, I will take a topic from USPO 503, Unit 1, and I will be engaging the lecture titled Structure and Function of Nucleus. I will be answering the question which you have asked. Describe in detail the nucleus of a cell. So students, what you can see over here is the structure of nucleus. Uh, Nucleus is a prominent spherical oval structure found in an eukaryotic cell. By now, I know that you know the difference between a prokaryotic cell and an eukaryotic cell. It is the controlling center of the cell, all the cell activities, and it has been described as the controlling unit of a cell. It regulates all metabolic and hereditary activity and of the cell, and it was first discovered by Robert Brown in 1831 in flowering plants. Now let us find out where does it occur. The nucleus is present in all eukaryotic cell. You can look at the diagram, you can see it's an eukaryotic cell, and you can see the presence of nucleus, which is in violet color. The nucleus in eukaryotic cell is surrounded by a nuclear membrane, whereas in prokaryotic cell, the nuclear membrane is absent. Now let us look at the position of the nucleus in an eukaryotic cell. Usually, the nucleus is situated in the center of the cell. Now, if you see this diagram, you can see the nucleus is present somewhere in the center of the cell. However, there are some cells where you will find that the nucleus is peripheral. The nucleus, due to the presence of a large central vacuole, or otherwise you also see in egg rich in yolk, you find that the nucleus lie on the periphery. There are some glandular cells where you find that the nucleus lies at the basal region of the cell. So you can see the third diagram, the nucleus is present towards the base. Now let us talk about the shape of the nucleus. Now the shape of the nucleus varies. Okay, in most of the cells which you have seen till now, the nucleus is spherical in shape. It is cylindrical in shape, in cylindrical cell it is elliptical in shape. So you can see in the next diagram, it is elliptical in shape. Sometimes in some of the cells you can find the nucleus is trilobed. There are other shapes also in paramecium. In paramecium, we find there are two types of nucleus, two kinds, the micronucleus and the macronucleus. The micronucleus is round, whereas the macronucleus is kidney shaped. So if you can follow my cursor, you can see the large nucleus, it is kidney shaped over here. In some of the places, eukaryotic cells, you will find that the nucleus is horseshoe shaped. So you can see in this diagram, the nucleus is horseshoe shaped. And there are some places or some cells, for example, spinning gland cells of insect, where the nucleus is highly branched. Now let us talk about the size of the nucleus. The size of the nucleus is variable. So sometimes it is said that it is directly proportional to the size or the amount of cytoplasm which is present, and sometimes it is found that it is correlated with the number of chromosomes which is present in a cell. So the size varies. Now let us study in detail the nucleus structure. The nucleus is composed of the following structure. Now, as as I take, like you can look into the diagram, the first of the structure which I'd like to speak about is the nuclear membrane. So you can see in this diagram, if you follow my cursor, you can see a nuclear membrane is present, and the nuclear membrane is not continuous. So this nuclear membrane, you can see there are some pores present in the nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane is also called as the karyotheca. The second structure is the nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm, the name itself will tell you, it is present inside, and this is the portion where the nucleoplasm is present. The nuclear membrane separates the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. So it contains the nucleoplasm. It is also called as karyolymph. The next one is nucleolus. So nucleolus, you can see the dark body which is present here in the center is called as the nucleolus. And finally, the chromatin network, or it is called as the nuclear reticulum. So the nucleus is composed of these structures, mainly nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus, and the chromatin network. Now let us study the nuclear membrane in detail. The nuclear membrane, as I showed in the earlier diagram, is a double-layered membrane. It is separated, it separates the nucleoplasm from the cytoplasm. As I showed, the nuclear membrane has minute pores which allows the selective transfer of material between nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. So the nuclear membrane is not continuous. The outer layer of the, as it is double layered, so the outer layer of the nuclear membrane is called as ectokaryotheca, and the inner layer is called as endokaryotheca. And they are the two layers are separated by a perinuclear space, which is approximately 150 to 300 angstrom degree. Now let us come to the next part, and you will find that each inner and outer layer is about 70 to 80 degree angstrom degree. It is of thickness, and the outer membrane is often continuous with membrane of endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, or plasma membrane. So you can find in this diagram very nicely it has been shown that this is the nuclear membrane, and this is the inner membrane, and this is the outer membrane, and the outer membrane it forms this network-like structure with which is the endoplasmic reticulum. Mostly it has been found that in this membrane, that is the outer endoplasmic reticulum, you find the presence of ribosomes. So you can see these round bodies which are shown in this diagram are the ribosomes. And due to the presence of ribosome, the outer membrane looks rough. And that's why it gives the appearance of rough membrane, whereas the inner membrane is smooth. Now let us come to the nucleoplasm. Within the nuclear membrane, the nucleoplasm is present. It completely fills the space which is there towards the inner side of the nuclear membrane. It is semi-solid granular substance or matrix called as nucleoplasm. The nucleolus and the chromatin network lies suspended in the nucleoplasm. The nucleus is filled with a homozygous transparent acidophilic substance which is known as karyolymph. So you can find nucleoplasm, you can find it towards the inner side, towards the center of the nucleus. I have given a link over here. Students, I'd like all of you to go and watch this particular link, and it describes the nucleolus and the nucleoplasm the nuclear membrane and the function of the nucleus in a very nice way. So I'd like all the students to go through this link. The next one is that there is the chromatid threads which remain suspended in the nucleoplasm. There is the nucleolus which is present, and the nucleus sap contains organic and inorganic substance like nucleic acid, proteins, enzymes, and minerals. The nucleolus. Now, the nucleolus is a dense spherical granule found in the nucleus. What does it contain? It contains RNA, which is responsible for protein synthesis in the cytoplasm. There is one more link which I have provided. I want all the students to go and watch this video. It tells you about the nucleolus and the chromatin material and the structure and function of the nucleus. The chromatin network. Now, if you see the chromatin network, these are very fine thread-like coiled filaments which is distributed uniformly in the nucleoplasm. At the time of division, cell division, what really happens is this, that these thin hair-like chromatin material becomes thin, it becomes compact, and you can observe it under the microscope as chromosomes. Now, during certain stages of the cell division, the chromatin material may show beaded appearance. It shows bead-like structures, and those are called as chromomeres. So the nucleus appears different, as you have observed, students, when you have performed meiosis and mitosis. During interphase, it looks different. During prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. So all these mitotic phases you have already observed. The chromosome, the chromatin material looks different. Let me come to the chromatin. When you have stained them, when we stain them, so some of the portion it appears darker, and some of the portion it appears light. So the region which stains darker are called as heterochromatin, and the region which stains light are called as euchromatin. And this differential staining is observed, and many of you have seen the heterochromatin form centromeric region of the chromosome, that also, and the euchromatin region is the non-condensed region. Euchromatin forms a unique gene region of the genome. It actively participates in transcription, and all of you know that chromosome controls heredity. So now let us talk about the function of nucleus. Nucleus, it is involved in metabolism. Nucleus is considered as the regulatory organelle in the cell metabolism. When you see the nucleus, you know that it controls the majority of activities of the cell. The second function which I'd like to speak about is, of course, heredity. It plays a significant role in heredity. Since nucleus contains the DNA molecule in its chromosome, so that's why we know that it plays an important role in heredity. Next is differentiation. The nucleus controls cell differentiation during the embryonic development. Then the nucleus is also involved in exchange of material. The nuclear membrane is concerned with the exchange of material between the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. Other than that, it works as a support. Nuclear membrane provides a surface for the attachment of structural elements like cytoplasm, in cytoplasm, like microtubules and microfilaments. It also helps in RNA synthesis. The synthesis takes place, the RNA synthesis takes place within the nucleus. From these RNAs, ribosomes, tRNA, and various proteins are formed. So that is what I hope I have answered your question. Your question was a small, it was about describe in detail the nucleus of a cell. So thank you, students, and I'll be back with the next question which you have posted to me. Thank you.